Hey everyone, this is Dean, and today I'm going to show you how to use the name generator in Scrivener. One of the kind of problems a lot of writers have when they're writing is coming up with names for different characters, particularly more minor characters, where they may have a character that's in a chapter or two or whatever, and they need to give them some sort of name, but sometimes that's a little hard to do. So one of the writing tools under Edit, Writing Tools, and Name Generator is the Name Generator. And the Name Generator can generate a list of names for you that you can use for any character you want. So it's relatively easy to use. Down here along this bottom line here is how many names you want to generate. You can generate up to 500 names at a time. I'm going to bring it down to about 30. So let's go over here to the right, and we see you have gender, so you can look for a male name, a female name, or either. So the list will generate either. So you could actually generate a list of a particular length and just work with that list of names for a particular thing. Some people generate the names and they'll save the generated list and use them kind of like if they need a name or something. Or you can generate lists and just go through the list and find ones that you like. But there are some other things that we can change here if we want something specific. So we can attempt alliteration. So if we rerun this generate here, it will try to alliterate the name. So the first letter of each, the first name and the last name will have the same letter. We can use what they call double-barreled surnames, which are just hyphenated names. And we can make the forenames, which are the first names, initials only. And we can determine, for example, how many initials. So if you want 1, 2, or 3, or whatever. So we're going to put it at 2 here and generate. And you can see we have a list of names here that have 2 initials and a last name. We can do some specifics here. For example, if we wanted the forename or the first name to be Mike, we could put that in, and if we generate the list, the names for the entire list would be Mike. Now we have 2 forenames right here. Now, so it's putting a middle name as well. So we're going to take that back down just to 1 name, for example. So you can actually, by putting 2 forenames, you can end up with a middle name of a person as well on that. Now the other types of things you can do, so say we want a name Mike, and we want to go down here, we can have the surname contain something, end with something, or start with something. Let's have it start with the letter S. And if we run this again real quick, you'll see that we have the name Mike with all last names starting with the letter S. So you can do a lot of specifics. So if you have a character and you want their first name to be Mike, but you need a last name for them, and maybe you want the last name to start with a particular letter, or first few letters, or first last letters, you can have that as well. So then the next thing that we have here is the obscurity level, and it's set in middle by default. But you can have more obscure or less obscure names on this. Now, this primarily works when you have lists that are set by order of how popular the names are, or how obscure the names are. So down here at the bottom, you'll see we have all these different things down here. So we can actually right now we're just doing the list from kind of popular U.S. names. So we can take what we're generating from either male names or female names, and we can actually look for types of surnames like Irish surnames or Finnish surnames. And these are the default ones that are up in here, but we can add some in here. So the first thing to look at is if we want to add a legacy name list. And I guess the legacy name list originally were original names in a previous version of Scrivener that they had. And so if we go here, it takes us to this directory, and there are all of these names. So you have Afghan, Albanian. So the nice thing about this is if you have some characters or a character and they're from a country or part of the world you're really not familiar with the naming or common names or whatever, it will help you with that. Like, for instance, if you have a character that's Russian, you can have Russian names here. So we can add any of these in. Let's add Russian female forenames. So if we go here, we've got Russian female forenames. We just added that. Now you'll note these little symbols here for male and female and neutral right here is, or either, I guess, is just a little gray thing. The Russian female forenames right here, the problem with this is it doesn't have it listed as female, or it doesn't know it's female. It's gone to male by default. And so even if we selected that, presumably it wouldn't put that in. So what we need to do here is we could either put either here up here so that it would generate those names and click everything else off if we just wanted Russian female names. Or the other thing we could do is we can go down here and go to add name list. And this is for a list that you could generate yourself, or a list that you download. We can go here, and if we go down to program files, and we go to Scrivener, and we go to resources and then toolbox, you'll see names, tool, and legacy. This is the path to where the actual legacy names are. And then we could go down here and again, let's go to Russian just so we keep it consistent. And it gives you the choice here of giving it a title. So let's put Russian female first names, let's say. And we're going to change it to female here. Now, right here is where you could, if you had a list and it was ordered by popularity, you could click this. I'm not sure whether this list is ordered by popularity or not, so I'm going to just leave that off in this case. And so when we put that in, you see it has the correct symbol for female right there. And we can get rid of this second one right here. And so that's just something to bear in mind. You don't really need to remember where that folder path is, because you can always go to the legacy name list and it will bring it up here. But the problem with bringing it in through the legacy list, it doesn't give you the choice to set the gender on it. So that's how the name generator works. It looks like a pretty useful tool. But the thing to remember, once again, is that under legacy, you have a list of all sorts of names from different countries and ethnicities. So that's a great feature there, particularly if you like I said, you want to create a character name from a country that you aren't that familiar with the most popular or common, or even the types of last names or first names that you might run into. I'm Dean, and I'll see you next time.